Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is What If ANBU Captain Naruto Got Harem with Yugao Part 2. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Tsunami sighed as she sat in her office looking through a large pile of trade treaties that had been sent in over the past few days. Since Team 7 had helped protect her grandfather as he built the bridge that now connected Wave to the mainland, the country had grown to become one of the largest trading ports of the elemental nations. Thoughts of Team 7 brought a small frown to the young daimyo's face as she remembered the young blonde boy who helped not only change her son, but her country as well. They had received no new information regarding the whereabouts of Naruto Uzumaki, the person her country thought of as a hero. I hope that wherever you are you're doing alright Naruto-kun, Tsunami said. Sure, the rest of Team 7 had played a large role in defeating Gato and freeing the people of Wave, but Naruto helped change her son Inari, and that had earned the blonde a special place in her heart. Tsunami-sama, the team you requested from Konoha has arrived. Came a voice through her intercom. What? Already? They weren't supposed to arrive for another day at least. Tsunami said to herself before telling her secretary to let the team in. Hello Ninja-san. Sorry if I seem a little disorganized but I wasn't expecting you till later tonight or tomorrow. Tsunami said apologetically. Sorry, I had planned to arrive later today but my team and I had a little incident, so to speak, and I thought it would be best for us to arrive as soon as possible. The hooded figure at the front said, I'm sorry if we have caused you any problems with our early arrival. Not at all Ninja-san. Tsunami replied with a smile, just caught a little off guard is all. Something about the one with the cloak is familiar. Alright Daimyo-sama, let me introduce the team that will be acting as your security during your negotiations with Kumo. The hooded figure said, receiving a nod from Tsunami. Yugao Azuki, Konoha's resident Kenjutsu specialist, Kurenai Yuhi the Genjutsu mistress of Konoha, along with her old team, Kiba Inzuka, Shino Aburame, and Hinata Hyuga, all of which are excellent trackers with abilities trained for tracking enemies. A very prestigious team you have here Ninja-san. I've heard a lot about both Yugao and Kurenai. Tsunami said. While Wave wasn't as militaristic as most of the other nations, as daimyo she made sure to keep track of top-ranking shinobi from around the elemental nations. And who might you be? Most people know me as Konoha's Reaper. Naruto started, before removing his hood, making Tsunami's eyes widen, but I would prefer it if you just called me Naruto. Naruto-kun, Tsunami said, shocked at the change Naruto had undergone. Last time she had seen the blonde he was just a runt who had one of the shortest attention spans she had ever seen. In front of her stood a man that radiated power and respect, who she had to admit was quite handsome. What's more is that he claimed to be Konoha's Reaper, someone she had been keeping tabs on since she first heard about him. Hello again Tsunami-chan, I see you have become Wave's daimyo, congratulations. How have Inari-san and Tazuna-san been doing? Naruto asked, shocking Kurenai at the way he addressed Wave's leader, while Yugao just shook her head. Naruto-san, you shouldn't address the daimyo like that, it's disrespectful. Kurenai scolded the blonde. It's quite alright Kurenai-san. Naruto-kun did a lot for not only the country of Wave but for my family as well. Tsunami said with a smile, silencing any further scolding by the red-eyed Junin. I really didn't do that much Tsunami-chan. Kakashi-sensei and the rest of Team 7 played their part, as well as Zabuza-san and Haku-san. Naruto said with a smile remembering the person he considered his first friend from outside the village. Such humility Naruto-kun, it would seem that more than just your body has matured over the past few years. Tsunami said, earning a slight nod of acknowledgement from Naruto. I had originally planned to put your team in one of our hotels, but seeing as Naruto is the leader I would like to offer you a place to stay with me and my family. We have plenty of room for guests and I'm sure both Inari-kun and my grandfather would be happy to see you again. Inari-kun was devastated when we learned that you had disappeared suddenly, but he kept a smile on his face and continued to help the village, saying that it was something you would have done, Naruto-kun. He did, huh? I'm glad he was able to change from the way he was when I was first here. As for your request, I would be honored to stay at your house, Tsunami-chan. It would be good to see Inari and Tazuna again. Maybe Inari can give me a quick tour later today. Naruto replied, earning a smile from Tsunami before she asked her secretary to call for her son. Tsunami and Naruto continued to talk about the change Wave had undergone while waiting for Inari to arrive, giving his team a chance to talk among themselves. Man, I can't believe how casually Naruto and the daimyo are talking, it's like they have been friends for years. Last time I accidentally talked to a daimyo like that, I was almost thrown in jail. Kiba said as he glanced at Naruto. Naruto is seen as a hero here, Kiba-san. Aside from naming the bridge after him, the daimyo also said that he had helped change her son. It would make sense that he is on good terms with the daimyo. Shino replied. Naruto-san has quite the track record for changing countries, don't you think, Yugao-chan? On his first mission out of Konoha, he managed to free Wave Country from Gato, and according to Kakashi, he played a major role in helping the Princess Koyuki defeat her uncle Dodo in the Land of Snow, allowing her to take her rightful place as the daimyo of the new spring country. Kurenai said, receiving a nod from her friend. He definitely does. Naruto has a special quality that makes people want to believe in him. While he has greatly matured during his time in ANBU, Naruto still fights to be able to protect his friends in his village. His words have the power to make friends from even the worst of enemies. Yugao replied with a small smile. You really care about him, don't you? Kurenai asked, making her friend stiffen slightly. I'm not sure, Kurenai-chan. A part of me tells me that I do, but the other part of me is scared to become too attached. I don't want another repeat of what happened with Hayate-kun to happen with Naruto, Yugao replied sadly, making Kurenai's eyes soften slightly. We are ninja, Yugao-chan. While we may not be able to guarantee our own safety and the safety of our friends, I believe Hayate would have wanted you to move on. Knowing that I could die at a moment's notice, whether it's today, or a year from now, I would rather spend the rest of my time with someone who cares about me the same way I cared about them. Kurenai said, I can see that you truly care for Naruto, and I can see that he truly cares about you. Don't let this opportunity pass you by, Yugao-chan. I'll think about it, alright. Yugao replied as she gazed at her blonde comrade. Do you have anyone special, Kurenai-chan? You speak as if you have experience with my situation. While a lot of men have tried to get my attention, none of them have had the characteristics of someone I would want to be with. Most are perverts just looking to get with me. Kurenai replied. I see. What about Naruto-kun? I know he has a lot of characteristics that you are looking for, Kurenai-chan. Yugao asked, shocking her friend. Well, maybe a little. When I saw the way he had changed, regardless of his age, Naruto has a lot of characteristics that a lot of women would be attracted to. But after seeing how close the two of you are, I would never want to get between the two of you. It was nothing more than a silly thought. Kurenai replied. I see. Do you know about the laws passed down by the second Hokage about clan leaders that are the last of their line? Yugao asked. No, I don't. What would that have to do with Naruto-san though? Kurenai replied. Naruto is the last of the Uzumaki clan and to a lesser extent the Namikaze clan as well. The Uzumaki clan is known across the elemental nations for both their knowledge of Fuinjutsu and the Uzumaki clan Kenjutsu style. The Namikaze clan, while being a small clan that not a lot of people knew about, was also well known for their Fuinjutsu, and were feared as some of the fastest fighters in the elemental nations. Naruto, as the last of both clans, has the right to take more than one wife to help him rebuild his clan under the CRA. Yugao explained, making Kurenai's eyes narrow. Taking more than one wife to meet someone's means for restoring a clan is not something I would be interested in, Yugao-chan. You know my standing on things like that. Kurenai replied, making Yugao nod. I do. Right now Naruto doesn't want to be placed in the CRA, but I think with the reputation of the Uzumaki clan, Naruto might get forced into it. Receiving little love and care growing up, Naruto doesn't want to be put into a loveless marriage just because of who his parents were, and would rather be able to choose who he wants to spend the rest of his life with. I'm not telling you to jump the gun on this Kurenai-chan, all I'm trying to say is at least get to know him. Yugao said. Why are you telling me this, Yugao-chan? I can see how much you care for him, so why bring something like this up? Kurenai asked, making her friend sigh. I watched how Naruto-kun struggled growing up, always trying to earn the people's respect and attention, and with the burden he has had to deal with since birth, he deserves to have happiness in his life. Like I said earlier, Naruto-kun has a lot of qualities that women find desirable. Regardless of how my relationship with Naruto-kun progresses, I would hate to see him forced into a loveless marriage with some spoiled merchant's daughter. I've noticed the way a few others have been looking at Naruto. Shizune-san seems to be attracted to Naruto now as well, if only physically, but given the chance to get to know Naruto, I'm sure her feelings could grow to something deeper. There is one other that I know for sure has feelings for Naruto-kun, however, they are not mutual, and Naruto plans to confront her before they can escalate any further. Yugao said. Kurenai had a feeling that she knew who the mystery girl was, although she hoped she was wrong for the sake of her students' happiness. I see, I'll think about it, I guess, but I won't make any promises. Kurenai said, making Yugao nod shortly before a knock was heard and the door started to open. You called for me, Ka-chan? The young boy asked. Hello, Inari-kun, the shinobi from Konoha have arrived and I would like for you to show them to our house. Tsunami replied. Alright, but weren't they supposed to be staying one of the hotels? Inari asked. At first I had planned to put them in one of our newer hotels, but a certain development has made me change my mind. Tsunami replied, earning a nod of understanding from her son. Ka-chan, did you ask them about Naruto-Nisan? Inari asked hopefully. I didn't have to, Inari-kun. Naruto-kun is here and is the one leading the team assigned to protect me during our talks with Kumo. Tsunami said, making Inari's eyes widen as he studied the Konoha shinobi in more detail, eventually coming to the form of a smirking blonde. Ni-san, Inari yelled as he ran and hugged Naruto, earning a chuckle from said blonde. Hey there, Inari, you sure have grown over the past few years. Your mother has told me a few interesting stories about you. Naruto said with a smile. What happened to you? We heard you just disappeared, we had thought you died, everyone was so upset. Why did you just disappear, Ni-san? Inari asked sadly. My old teammate Sasuke decided to betray my village, I failed to get him to return and it almost cost me my life. I had a lot of time to think about how my career as a shinobi had been up until that point and I decided I had to make changes. I joined Konoha's ANBU forces a couple weeks later and trained under some of the best shinobi in Konoha for a couple years before making a name for myself. Naruto said, earning a nod from Inari. I understand, Ni-san. From what I read about Konoha's ANBU, they try not to bring attention to themselves, maybe you can tell me some stories later. Inari said with a smile. Sure thing, Inari, but me and my team are tired, please lead us to your mother's house and we can talk more there, alright? Naruto said, earning a nod from Inari before giving his mother a slight bow and leaving her office, followed closely by Naruto's team. Few hours later, after Inari had shown Naruto's team to where they would be staying, Naruto had asked Inari to take them on a quick tour of the village. Naruto had noticed the main part of the village had stayed pretty much the same, but had to go over the newer area surrounding it a few times so he could remember the layout and formulate a plan for his team later. After that, Kurenai and her team had retired to Tsunami's house to get a bit of rest while Yugao found a quiet place to practice her kenjutsu, leaving Naruto and Inari alone sitting on the beach. So, what happened after you left here, Ni-san? Inari asked, wanting to get as many stories out of Naruto as he could. Well, A few months after my team returned to Konoha, we participated in the Chunin exams. Looking back at how I was back then, I'm surprised I was able to make it as far as I had. However, there was an invasion at the end of the exams. The traitor Orochimaru had tricked Suna into a joint attack, hoping he would be able to get revenge on the village he thought had wronged him. The battle was tough and many shinobi were lost on both sides, including both Suna and Konoha's Kage. I fought and eventually defeated Suna's Jinchuriki after he gave his demon full control by summoning the boss toad Gamabunta and having him get close enough for me to wake him up since he had to fall asleep to give the demon complete control. Since that time we have become close friends. By that time Orochimaru had fled the village after our Sandaime Hokage sacrificed himself in attempts to seal away Orochimaru's soul. Naruto said. Whoa, what happened to the Suna ninja? You said they were tricked, right? Inari asked. They were. Orochimaru had killed the Kage and was impersonating him for his own gains. By the time Konoha had learned about this, Suna had already retreated back to their village. After negotiations, Suna and Konoha became allies, with Konoha's new Hokage asking for Suna's help during my mission to retrieve Sasuke, and they arrived just in time to save my friends. Naruto explained. Naruto went on to explain the reason as to why Sasuke left, and telling Inari of his fight with his old friend, leaving out the part of using Kyuubi's chakra as he thought that was something Inari didn't need to know. They talked for a few more hours as Naruto told Inari about his time in ANBU, meeting Yugao, and some of the missions they had gone on together. You and this Yugao girl seem really close, Ni-san. I'd really like to meet her. Inari said. Well, you can. She is here with my team as part of your mother's security, the one with the purple hair. Naruto said, receiving a nod from Inari. Are you two dating? You sound like you care about her a lot. Inari asked. I do care a lot about her, but we aren't dating or anything like that, just friends for right now. Naruto said replied. Do you want to date her? Inari asked, making Naruto stop to think. Did he want to date her? He had to admit she was very attractive and strong, two qualities that Naruto would look for in someone he wanted to be with, but she was also caring and nice. They had been through a lot together over his few years in ANBU, and Inari was right, they had grown very close. Truthfully, Yugao-chan and I have been through a lot together over the past few years, and like you said, we have grown very close. However, Yugao-chan lost her fiancé before the invasion during the Chunin exams, and I'm not sure if she has moved on fully yet, or even if she feels the same way about me as I do her. You have to understand, Inari, that with the life we live it's hard to find love, and even if you find it there is no guarantee on how long it will last. There are also certain things about me that will make it difficult for me in the future. I have a lot of powerful enemies right now, and I'd hate to put someone like Yugao-chan in harm's way just for my personal gains, Naruto said, receiving a nod from Inari. I'm sure it will work out, Ni-san, but we should get back home now. It's almost dinner time, and I'm sure there are things that my mother wishes to discuss with you. Inari said before standing up and walking back towards the village. You think so, huh? Well, I hope you're right, Naruto said to himself as he too stood up and walked back to the village. Next day, late afternoon. Inari had been right. After dinner, Tsunami had taken Naruto and his team aside to discuss what the plan for the meeting was. Naruto and Yugao would accompany Tsunami to the meeting, while Kurenai and her team would set up a perimeter. In the off chance that the Kumo shinobi recognized Naruto as Minato's son, they hoped that Tsunade's plan of having Wave's hero present would be enough to make Kumo not want to start anything. Adding one of the best Kenjutsu users in the elemental nations as extra backup was just extra precautionary measures. Naruto and Yugao were currently wandering around the city, hoping to spot the team from Kumo that they heard had arrived earlier, but so far they had had no luck locating them. You're sure they are here, Naruto-kun? Maybe Tsunami-san had wrong information. Yugao asked. I don't think so. The meeting is tomorrow. They have to be here somewhere. Naruto said, before feeling a somewhat similar presence. Come with me, Yugao-chan, I think I know where they are. How? Yugao asked as Naruto led her through the streets, stopping a little bit away from one of Wave's newer hotels, and then noticed some Kumo shinobi standing outside it. I knew it, Naruto mumbled, earning Yugao's attention. Knew what? Naruto-kun? She asked. That blonde kunoichi, the one with long blonde hair, can you see her? Naruto asked, earning a nod from Yugao after a few moments of searching for her. What about her? She asked. She is Yugito ni, Junin of Kumo, and is also the Jinchuriki of the Two Tails. Naruto said, making Yugao's eyes widen. I knew where they were because I could feel a demonic presence similar to the Kyuubi's. This changes things a little. I want you to find Kurenai and her team and tell her about this. I'm going to stick around and watch her a little more. Alright. Just be safe, alright, Naruto-kun. Yugao said before heading to find Kurenai. Couple hours later, Naruto had been watching Yugito for the past few hours, not noticing anything to be off about the Jinchuriki. It was her teammates that bothered him. The looks they sent her when she wasn't looking, and the way they acted towards her made his eyes narrow in anger, reminding him of the looks he used to receive as a child. I shouldn't be surprised. Kumo is a village that prides itself on its militaristic strength. It would make sense that Jinchuriki would be seen as nothing more than tools. He said to himself, and then watched as Yugito left, heading towards one of the docks. Summoning a toad, Naruto gave it a message to deliver to Yugao and Kurenai, telling them he was going to follow Yugito for a while longer before returning to Tsunamis for the night. Having sent the message, Naruto left the cover of the alleyway and continued to follow Yugito through town. Coming to one of the docks farthest from the market area, Naruto watched as Yugito appeared to be meditating. You know, you don't have to hide from me. I could sense your presence since leaving the hotel, she said as she looked towards the spot Naruto was hiding. Impressive. Not many people have the ability to sense me while I'm trying to stay hidden, but I guess you have something inside that helps you with that, huh? Naruto said as he appeared at the end of the dock, shocking Yugito. What are you talking about? Yugito stammered. I sensed you with my own skill, nothing more. Cut the act. I know who you are. Yugito ni, Junin of Kumo, Jinchuriki of the Two-Tailed Hellcat. Naruto said, shocking Yugito. How do you know that? Does Konoha have spies in Kumo? Yugito asked as she got into a fighting stance. Easy, Yugito-san, I do not want to fight. Naruto said, making Yugito relax slightly. As for your question, no, Konoha doesn't have spies located in Kumo. And the reason for how I know doesn't matter. If you ask your tenant, I'm sure she will be able to tell you. While Naruto didn't rely on the Kyuubi's chakra, during his years in ANBU he had learned of the other Biju from the fox sealed inside him. While he knew the Biju didn't have actual genders, they act and sound a certain way, and some took the way they were addressed more seriously than others. How would he know about Unibi? If Konoha doesn't have spies in Kumo, there would be no possible way he would know about that, as the bingo book doesn't have me listed as a Jinchuriki. The reason he knows is because, like you, he is also a Jinchuriki, though I cannot sense what one of us he holds. He must suppress his Biju's chakra. I can only sense a small amount coming off of him. Be careful, Yugito-chan, even if he doesn't use his Biju's chakra, I can sense a powerful aura coming from him. I see your tenant has told you of what I am. As I said, I do not wish to fight you, Yugito-san, I just wanted to talk. Naruto said, earning a nod from Yugito. She told me what you are, but couldn't tell me what Biju you hold. You know a lot about me, but I know nothing about you, Shinobi-san. Yugito replied. Indeed you don't. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, elite Junin of Konoha, Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Demon Fox. Naruto said, mind if I sit with you? Sure, as long as you don't try anything. Yugito replied, earning a nod from Naruto as he took a seat next to her. Like I said, Yugito-san, I didn't come here to fight. How long did you know I was following you? Naruto asked. Nibi alerted me to your presence when I was at the hotel. I did not, however, expect you to follow me out here. Yugito replied as she gazed across the ocean. I see. As a team leader, I was curious as to who Kumo would send. With the threat of the Akatsuki looming overhead, I didn't expect them to send one of their Jinchuriki on such a low-ranking mission. Naruto replied, making Yugito look at him questioningly. Akatsuki? Who or what is that? She asked. I see. She doesn't even know that there is an organization of S-ranked criminals after her. I'm surprised you don't know who they are. The Akatsuki is a group of S-ranked ninja from around the elemental nations that is currently hunting people like you and me. Naruto replied. Right now we only know of two of their members, one being Itachi Uchiha, S-ranked criminal of Konoha, Uchiha prodigy that had entered ANBU by the age of 10, and was an ANBU captain by age 13, and is said to have been one of the strongest Uchihas since Madara. His partner is Kisame Hoshigaki, nicknamed the Tailed Beast because of his supposed superhuman chakra levels, and is said to have been one of the strongest shinobi to ever come out of Kiri. Naruto said, shocking Yugito. If the rest of the members were anything like Itachi and Kisame, the Akatsuki would be a serious threat to any of the Jinchuriki. Why are you telling me this? Would it not be easier for Konoha if other villages' Jinchuriki are captured? Yugito asked. I believe you're missing the larger picture here, Yugito-san. An organization of S-ranked criminals with members like Itachi and Kisame wanting to gather the tailed beasts would be anything but good. We have yet to learn of their true intentions, but whatever it is, I can guarantee it would be anything but peaceful. And besides, as Jinchuriki need to stick together, I saw the looks your teammates were giving you at the hotel. I received them a lot when I was younger. In fact, I received them up until I disappeared 3 years ago. Naruto said. My life in Kumo isn't all that bad. The Raikage's younger brother is also a Jinchuriki and has looked out for me since my mother died, so I'm pretty close with the Raikage and most of the village accepts me. Some, like the two you saw earlier, can't see past my inner demon even though I have full control of her. Yugito said sadly, earning a nod from Naruto. But even if most of the village accepts me, I still don't have a lot of friends back home. I see, you've had it a little easier than I have at least. Naruto said, earning Yugito's attention again. Growing up, I never knew my parents. I lived in the orphanage until I was kicked out at the age of 6. The Sandaime Hokage was the only person who treated me nicely until my last year at the academy, where I earned friends and also a brotherly relationship with my sensei. I didn't even know I was a Jinchuriki until I was tricked by one of the teachers to steal the forbidden scroll after my 3rd time failing the academy. He told me if I could get the scroll I would pass and be able to become a genin. Turns out he was working for the traitor Orochimaru, and he tried to kill me. He told me about how our Yondaime Hokage couldn't kill the 9 tails, and instead had to seal it away. Something tells me that there is more where this came from. How could you live through all that and still be sane, not wanting to kill everyone? Yugito asked. I will admit I thought a lot about getting revenge when I was little, but I eventually found friends and people I could consider a family. I had finally gotten a little of the recognition I had always wanted growing up, and that's what stopped me from growing up to become a killer. Naruto said with a smile. I see. Nibi also tells me that you probably don't use or rely on your Biju's chakra. With that said thought, she also says I should be wary of you because of the powerful aura she can sense coming off you. She says you're most likely the Domina. Yugito started, then stopped blushing crimson as her inner demon continued her train of thought. Hey, a perverted demon cat, never thought I'd see something like that. Naruto said with a smirk, earning a glare from Yugito. But if you must know, I don't use the Kyuubi's chakra. I used to have to rely on it a lot when I was younger, but after certain events I decided it was time for a change. I joined Konoha's ANBU when I was 13 and only recently returned to Konoha's regular shinobi forces. This is actually my first mission as an elite Junin. Naruto said. As for being dominating, couldn't tell ya, but something tells me that would be a role you would play. Don't encourage Nibi Naruto-san, Yugito said with a blush, earning a laugh from Naruto. Sorry Yugito-san, I couldn't help myself, I'm sorry but I should probably get back to my team. Remember what I said about the Akatsuki Yugito-san, pass on the message to both the Reikage and his younger brother, I would recommend not going on any missions alone until something is done about them. Naruto said, before digging into his pocket and pulling out a sealing tag Yugito didn't recognize and handed it over to her. What is this for Naruto-san? Yugito asked. It's a reverse sealing tag specifically designed by me for my friends. If you are in danger, pump chakra into the tag and I will be able to teleport to you. You can only use it one time though before it runs out. Naruto explained, making Yugito's eyes widen. Why are you giving this to me? She asked. As someone who is not only a Jinchuriki, but has also shared a similar past with me, we should stick together. Look out for the Akatsuki, anyone wearing a black cloak with red clouds, they are very powerful. I'm not downplaying your skills as I'm sure that you're a very capable kunoichi, but the Akatsuki is a very dangerous organization that will take more than just a few people to be able to stand up to them. Naruto explained, earning a thankful smile from Yugito. Thank you, Naruto-kun, I promise I'll use this if I need help. Yugito said as she stood up and prepared to leave. Alright Yugito-chan, Kumo and Konoha might not be on the best of terms right now, but you can count on the Reaper's help if you need it, however those who cross the Reaper don't live for very long. Naruto said with smirk before using Shunshin to go back to Tsunami's house, leaving a shocked Yugito behind. Konoha's Reaper, Yugito said to herself. I told you he was powerful Yugito-chan, even with me I'm not sure you would be able to best him in a fight. Nibi said, leaving Yugito with a lot to think about on her way back to the hotel. With Naruto arriving back at Tsunami's house, Naruto made his way to find both Yugao and Kurenai with hopes of talking to them about the Nibi Jinchuriki. Ah, Tsunami-chan, do you know where Yugao-chan and Kurenai-san are? Naruto asked as he saw Tsunami relaxing in the living room. I think they are out back Naruto-kun, they went outside a little while ago. Tsunami replied, earning a nod from the blonde. Walking outside Naruto found Yugao going through Kenjutsu katas while Kurenai watched. Ah Yugao-chan, Kurenai-san, I need to talk with you about something. Naruto said, earning both their attention. Naruto-kun you're back, I was a little worried something might have happened, you were gone for a long time. Yugao said, stopping her training and walking over to Naruto, followed by Kurenai. I'm fine Yugao-chan, don't worry. I followed her out to one of the docks, she knew I was following her and called me out on the docks. The first few minutes were a little tense as she had thought I wanted to fight her, but I managed to calm her down. After that we talked for a while, I let her know about Kumo and we shared stories of our past. She is not well liked by some of the shinobi in her village so we had a little in common. I was a little surprised she knew nothing about the Akatsuki, but I left her with a warning as well as one of my reverse summoning tags in the event she needs my help. I could tell she was strong but the Akatsuki are not to be taken lightly. Naruto said, earning a nod from Yugao. Do you think she is a threat tomorrow Naruto-san? Kurenai asked, making Naruto shake his head. No I don't think she will be. Nibi let her know I was a Jinchuriki, but she also told me the Nibi said to be wary of me. It also turns out the two-tailed hell cat is a bit of a pervert. Naruto said with a laugh. Really? That's all you got out of her Naruto-kun? Was that her tailed beast was a pervert? Yugao asked with a sweat drop. Well for the most, it's not every day a two-tailed demon tells you that you look like the dominating type, Naruto said with a sheepish grin, earning a slight blush from Yugao and a tick mark on Kurenai's forehead. Please get to the point Naruto-san. Kurenai said, earning a nod from the blonde. No fun Kurenai-san, Naruto started, earning a glare from the red-eyed Junin before quickly continuing. From what I gathered she had a past slightly similar to my own. She is close to the Raikage and the Raikage's little brother, who is Kumo's other Jinchuriki. Both are said to be the perfect hosts because they both have complete control over their Biju. Yugito is a Junin level kunoichi even without the Nibi's chakra, and from reports in the bingo book she is a skilled close-range fighter. However, I feel like we were able to connect in ways that normal people can't, which is why I gave her my special summoning tag. She is not a threat to any of us, however, I cannot guarantee that the other Kumo shinobi will be the same. So I would be prepared for anything. Alright Naruto-san, I'll let my team know to keep an eye out then. Kurenai said, receiving a nod in response. We should probably get some rest though, tomorrow will probably be long. And we need to be on alert, especially if the Kumo ambassador was to recognize me. Naruto said, receiving nods in agreement, they bid each other goodnight and left to their respective rooms, each having a lot to think about regarding conversations they had had today. Next day, Daimyo's office. Naruto and Yugao stood on either side of Tsunami as the ambassador from Kumo went over the agreement and restrictions laid down by Wave's daimyo. Across from them stood Yugito and one other shinobi Naruto didn't recognize. Outside, Kurenai and he team had set up a perimeter outside while keeping an eye on the other Kumo shinobi. In the off chance of something happening, Naruto felt secure with them keeping watch from the outside. Everything appears to be in order, Daimyo-sama. Raikage-sama will be pleased that you accepted our terms for this agreement. The ambassador from Kumo said with a smile as he took the papers and sealed them away, then stood up and put out his hand. Wave is grateful for your business, Ambassador-san. We look forward to working with you more in the future. Tsunami said with a smile of her own, as she stood up and shook the Kumo ambassador's hand before bidding him farewell. Naruto and Yugito shared one more look at Yugito left, receiving a smile from the Kumo Junin. That went better than we had hoped at least. Yugao sighed out after the door was shut. It doesn't seem like he recognized you either, which is a bonus. You're wrong, Yugao-chan. He recognized me the moment he saw me, he just chose not to say anything. They will most likely rush back to inform the Raikage about me. Naruto said, before turning to Tsunami. I'm sorry, Tsunami-chan, but my team and I need to leave as soon as possible. A lot has happened on this mission and it would be best for us to leave as soon as possible. I understand, Naruto-kun. I hope I will be able to see you again. Inari is going to be upset that you left without saying goodbye. Tsunade said with a small smile. Tell him I'm sorry, Tsunami-chan, and that I'll come to visit again sometime. Naruto said with a slight bow, before leaving with Yugao to get Kurenai and her team. A lot has changed, Naruto-kun. You've grown strong over the past 3 years. I'm sure regardless of whatever hardships you and your friends face in the future, you will be able to get through them. Tsunami said to herself, before sitting back down and doing paperwork. With Naruto. Yugao-chan, can you get Kurenai and her team and wait for me on the other side of the bridge? There is something I would like to do. Naruto said, receiving a nod in response. Naruto shunshined out of the area. Arriving at his intended area, Naruto proceeded to walk up a path leading to 2 graves. Haku-san, thank you for showing me what it truly meant to be strong. I've earned a lot of friends since I met you, fought a lot of tough enemies, and have made a name for myself on the Nindo that you had, which now lives on through me. Thank you, friend, Naruto said, before saying a prayer for Zabuza as well and leaving to meet up with his team. Another mission to Wave that Naruto wouldn't forget anytime soon. New enemies, along with new friends, and a lot to think about regarding his purple-haired friend. Little did he know that Yugao was having similar thoughts about him. Eventful mission indeed. Konoha, day after Naruto's return. Upon arriving home the previous day, Naruto had asked Tsunade what she had done about the letter he had sent her. Getting the reply that she had sent an ANBU team led by Kakashi to search the area, but wouldn't be expecting a reply till the next day, Naruto had given her his mission report before agreeing to meet her back at the tower the following day. Naruto was now on his way to the Hokage Tower, Yugao following slightly behind him. Do you think Kakashi-senpai is back yet, Naruto-kun? Yugao asked, getting a sigh out of her blonde friend. I don't know, Yugao-chan, I hope so. With Kakashi's Sharingan he should at least be able to pick something up. Naruto replied, although a little unsure of his own statement. Whoever it was the night before had been able to slip by him unnoticed, something that had not happened to him in a long time. Whoever it was, they were very good at hiding their presence, even from me. I know, that's what bothers me, Naruto-kun. What if he comes back before we are ready for him? Yugao asked. A sense of hopelessness laced her voice that Naruto hadn't heard in a very long time, making his eyes soften slightly. Honestly, I'm not sure, Yugao-chan. Naruto started, but from what I gathered from our brief encounter he still had a long time to go until he had reached his full power. Same goes for both of us as well. There are still so many jutsus that I have yet to learn and master. We have time to train, become stronger. We both have access to my family's jutsu library, and I know for a fact that you want to learn the Uzumaki Kenjutsu style. Thank you, Naruto-kun, you're right, we both have time to grow, along with everyone else. You don't have to shoulder this burden on your own. I'll always be there to help you, and I'm sure there are others who feel the same way. Yugao said with a smile, earning a nod in return from Naruto. Thank you, Yugao-chan. I know that I have people I can count on in the Leaf, as well as other areas around the elemental nations, but we will all need to be at our best to deal with not only the Akatsuki, but this new threat as well. Naruto replied, but we should hurry to see Ba-chan. She said that Kakashi should be arriving around this time and I would like to be there for his report. Yugao replied with a nod as both she and Naruto quickened their pace towards the Hokage Tower. Hokage Tower. Tsunade sighed as she gazed at the scarecrow Junin that had just entered her office. She could tell from how he held himself that they hadn't found much, if anything, as to who Naruto might have encountered the night before. Pressing the button on her intercom, she called for Shizune to send someone to find Naruto. No need for that, Ba-chan, I'm already here. Naruto said as he entered the window, making a tick mark appear on Tsunade's forehead. Sorry, Tsunade-sama, I tried to stop him but he isn't a very good listener. Yugao said as she too appeared in the window. Tell me something I don't already know. Tsunade scoffed, earning a smirk from Naruto as he took a seat beside Kakashi, Yugao sitting next to him. So, did you manage to find anything, Kakashi-sensei? Naruto asked. Not much, Naruto. There were traces of chakra around the area, then a single trail leading away from the clearing. But we didn't get very far before it disappeared completely. If I had to guess, it was a long-range jutsu, very long range. Which would mean it would take a great deal of both chakra and control to be able to hold it for as long as you say they did. Kakashi stated, earning a nod from Naruto. In a way, it resembles when Zabuza used the hidden mist technique on us during our first mission to Wave and made his voice reverberate through the fog, making it seem like he was everywhere at once. Naruto summarized, earning a nod from Kakashi. The Cyclops is right, brat. I could sense the chakra was being sent from far away, but inside this seal I couldn't tell just how far. The chakra felt old, almost, very old, full of memory and anger. A voice inside Naruto's mind spoke, making the blonde's eyes widen slightly, attracting the attention of the others. Are you alright, Naruto-kun? Yugao asked, slight worry in her voice. Yay, I'm fine, Yugao-chan. The Kyuubi just had something to say on the matter. Naruto replied, making the others have the same reaction he just did. What did it say? Kakashi asked, making Naruto sigh as he heard a slight growling in the back of his mind. He said that you were right about it being a long-range jutsu, but inside the seal he wasn't able to tell just how far the chakra came from. He also said that the chakra felt old, full of memories and anger. Naruto said. How old exactly? Could he tell? Tsunade asked. If they could get an age, they might be able to narrow the search down. No, I couldn't tell exactly, but it felt older than Madara, which means it goes back to before Konoha became a village. Kyuubi said, making Naruto frown. The fox said it felt older than Madara's chakra, which means it is also older than Konoha. This means that we most likely won't be able to trace it back to anyone, as there are no records from before that time. Naruto said, earning a nod from the rest present. Kyuubi, I would like to ask you to keep looking into this. You are the only one who would have information from a time before the great villages were formed. Our lives are connected. If I were to die, so would you, and while we may not see eye to eye on most things, I don't want you to die just because I wasn't strong enough, even though you would eventually reappear. Naruto said in his mind, slightly shocking the large fox, though he hid it very well. Alright brat, I'll look into it, but I can't promise anything, so don't get your hopes up too high. Just remember I'm only doing this because I don't want to die. Reforming takes time, and honestly it really sucks. Kyuubi replied, making Naruto nod with a slight smile. I asked the fox to look into it. Being around pretty much since the birth of Shinobi, he has seen a lot, and is probably our best bet to actually find something out about whoever we encountered the other night. Naruto said. I may not like it, but you have a point. The Kyuubi is one of the only beings old enough to know what happened before the formation of the 5 great villages. While Sonya clan kept detailed record of events that happened before Konoha was formed, most of the documents have been lost over the years, or are worn beyond recognition. Tsunade said. It would seem that at this moment, there is little left to be said about what happened during the mission. But I would like to make a request, Ba-chan. Naruto said. Getting Tsunade's attention, Naruto hardly requested anything from her anymore, unless it was very important. I'm listening. I would like you to call together teams 8, 9, and 10, along with their senseis. I would also like you to call Sakura, Shizune, Ayame, Tsuki, and Iruka to come as well. I think it's time that they learn the truth of who and what I really am. Naruto said, making Tsunade's eyes widen slightly. Are you sure, brat? I mean, you just came back and everything. They are still trying to get used to the new, well, you, I guess. Tsunade said, but earned a nod from Naruto. Groaning at the thought of how much paperwork this would create for her, Tsunade told Shizune to send for the people Naruto had asked for. 15 minutes later, Naruto stood in front of his friends, their senseis, and the 3 people he could call family. I've asked Ba-chan to call you all here today to discuss a few things. Naruto started, gaining everyone's attention. There are many things that you do not know about me, and being my friends and people I consider family, I believe you all have a right to know the truth. Iruka paled slightly after hearing Naruto say that. He wasn't going to tell them that was he. What do you mean, Naruto? Sakura asked. Naruto sighed, trying to find the right place to start his little speech. I guess it would be best for me to start from the beginning. 16 years ago, October the 10th, what day does that mark? Naruto asked. That's the day the Kyuubi attacked the village. Shikamaru stated, earning a nod from Naruto. Exactly. Now, even though the Yondaime was considered to be one of, if not the strongest, Hokage to lead Konoha, he couldn't kill the Kyuubi. No one can. Naruto started, confirming Iruka's thoughts from earlier. I really hope you know what you're doing, Naruto. I would hate for this to backfire on you, Iruka thought, as well as Ayame and Tsuki, as they knew exactly what he was, not that it mattered to them. The 9 Biju is large masses of chakra able to take physical form. Their power is based on how many tails they have. The Ikibi Shukaku is the weakest of the tailed beasts, while the Kyuubi is the strongest. That being said, the only way to defeat a Biju is to seal it away. You mean, like Gaara, right? Sakura asked. Yes, although Gaara's seal was iffy at best, hardly strong enough to hold the bloodthirsty desires of Shukaku, which is the reason why Gaara was the way he was during the Chunin exams. Naruto explained, earning nods from those around the room. There is a total of 9 biju, which means there are 9 Jinchuriki, which is the term given to those that hold the biju inside them. 9. How do you know that? Tenten asked, slightly intrigued by what she was hearing. During my days in ANBU I came across bingo book entries of a few of the Jinchuriki. Kumo houses the 2 tails and the 8 tails. Both Jinchuriki have complete control over their biju, and can use its power freely, even being able to transform into the biju themselves. Waterfall holds the 7 tails. We do not know much about their Jinchuriki, other than the fact that she is roughly around our age. Suna has the Ikibi Shukaku, who is sealed inside their case cage Gara, but you all already knew that. And, as some of you may have already guessed, Konoha houses the Jinchuriki of the 9 tails. Naruto said, causing a few eyes to widen in surprise. How come we never knew about this? Sakura asked, her question directed more towards Tsunade than Naruto. The Sandaime created a law on the night of the Kyuubi attack, forbidding people to talk about who the Jinchuriki was, but that didn't stop them from telling their children to stay away from him. Naruto said, causing Shikamaru and Neji's eyes to widen. It's you, isn't it, Naruto? Shikamaru asked. I figured you would be the first to figure it out, Shikamaru. It would seem that you and Neji figured it out as well as Shino. Naruto said, earning the attention of those that had not yet figured it out. That's what you meant in the Chunin exams, isn't it, Naruto, about knowing my burden? That would also explain the red chakra I saw when you reopened your chakra points. Neji said. Knowing the truth, Neji felt ashamed of how he had talked to Naruto that day, something that Naruto picked up on. Yes, it is, Neji. However, I do not want you to feel bad about anything that happened that day. You had no idea at the time, so I can't hold what you said against you. Besides, it all worked in the end and we have become friends since then. Naruto said, earning a thankful nod from Neji. Why didn't you tell us this before, Naruto? Sakura asked. Understand, Sakura, that when I was younger, people would trick me into believing they liked me. A lot of the time it would end with me being beaten in an alleyway before the ANBU intervened. I was afraid of telling all of you because I was scared that you wouldn't be able to look at me the same again. We were all young, and you wouldn't have been as understanding as you are now. Naruto explained. Sakura had to admit he had a point. Back then she didn't know how she would have reacted to the news. She was a fresh out of the academy genin, she probably would have been scared of him. That is why you had ANBU watching over you as a child, why the villagers didn't like you. How could they? They should have known the difference between the jailer and the jailed. Ino said, surprising everyone in the room. They never thought Ino would have reacted like that. Hey, you have to look at it from their standpoint, Ino-san. The Kyuubi was easily the scariest thing that any of them had ever seen. People lost sons, daughters, fathers, and mothers that day. While I'm not saying what they did to me was right, I can understand where they are coming from. It's human nature to fear the unknown, and at that time they were still unsure if I was actually me, or the Kyuubi. Naruto explained. That is a logical answer, Naruto, although I am sure there are those who would have not changed their opinion on you. Shino said, earning a nod from Naruto. I'm sure there wouldn't have, as we have similarities to the way people look at us for what we hold inside us. But I was young and naive then, and like I said earlier, scared as well. Naruto said. But why would the Yondaime choose you? I'm sure he could have chosen any number of people to take the burden. Lee asked, unusually calm after listening to what Naruto had to say. That, Lee, is a very good question. It also brings me to the other part of what I wanted to talk to you about. During my time in ANBU I found out who my parents were. Naruto said. Now that statement alone was enough to get everyone's attention again. Really? That's great, Naruto. Who were they? Sakura asked, happy that her old teammate had finally found a part of his childhood he was missing. Some of the Junin might know my mother. She was the only kunoichi said to be on par with Ba-chan over there. Naruto said, as he pointed at Tsunade. Her name was Kushina Uzumaki, and before me, she was the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. She was brought to Konoha from Uzushiogakure, village hidden by the whirling tides. When she was young, her chakra was very special, easily able to bind the Kyuubi, although she didn't have access to its chakra as I do. As far as I know, aside from myself, she was the last of our clan. I've never heard of the Uzumaki clan before. Why is that? Sakura asked. The Uzumaki clan was renowned worldwide for their skills in both Fuinjutsu and their fearsome Kenjutsu style, said to be one of the strongest in all the elemental nations. For that reason, Uzushiogakure was wiped out during the Second Great Shinobi War. The symbol on the back of the Chunin and Junin flak jackets is actually the symbol of my clan and homeland, as we are distant relatives of the Senju. Naruto said, in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if we were actually related. Ba-chan, I would like for you to run some blood tests when this is over if you wouldn't mind. I'd be happy to. Naruto. Tsunade said happily. The chance at her actually having a family member, even if it was small, was something she wouldn't pass up. Thank you, Naruto said with a smile, then continued, the fact that my mother and father were together was a very well kept secret, as my father had many enemies both in and out of the village, and only a handful of people actually knew they were together. 2 of those people are in this room right now, while the third is probably off somewhere peeking at women in the bathhouse. I remember when your father found out that Kushina was pregnant with you, he had ordered me to keep a watch over her to make sure she was okay at all times. He was really paranoid about it. Kakashi said offhandedly, making the others in the room look at him. You knew about this, Kakashi-sensei? Sakura asked, earning a nod from the scarecrow. Why didn't you ever say anything about it then? It was never my place to tell. Kakashi shrugged. That responsibility fell to Naruto's godfather and godmother. Who were they? Ino asked. Me, as well as Jiraiya, but personal reasons kept us both away from the village for a long period of time. Although if I had known Naruto was actually still alive, I would have come back a lot sooner. Tsunade said with a smile as she looked at Naruto. You had 2 out of 3 Sannin as your godparents. Kiba all but shouted, who the hell was your father? My father was from one of the lesser clans in Konoha, the Namikaze. Naruto said, making the older people in the room, aside from those that already knew, go wide-eyed with shock. Namikaze, as in Minato Namikaze, the Yondaime Hokage? Shizune asked, now shocking the rest of the genin as well. The one and only Shizune-chan. Naruto said with a smile, earning another small blush from the Hokage's assistant, one that didn't go unnoticed by both Kurenai and Yugao. I knew it, she finds him physically attractive, not that I blame her. If Naruto was to develop feelings for her, I know she would eventually return them. Yugao thought as she looked at Shizune. Looks like Yugao-chan was right, Shizune seems to be attracted to Naruto. Although once what he just told us becomes public knowledge, I'm sure a lot of women will be screaming his name. Kurenai thought as well, thinking back to the conversation she had with Yugao during their mission to Wave. Unknown to those in Konoha, similar talks were going on in Kumo. Kumo, inside the Raikage's office. Are you 100% sure this is true? A very large man asked as he looked at the man sitting across from him. Yes, Asama. There is no doubt in my mind that the Konoha ninja I saw was the son of Minato Namikaze, Yondaime Hokage of Konoha. The small man said, making the Raikage smirk. I see, this could be either good or bad, depending on how we play our cards. Do you know if any of our ninja had a chance to see him before or after the meeting? The Raikage asked. I know Yugito had talked to him before. She left early in the afternoon and didn't come until later in the evening. She told us it would be unwise to anger the Konoha nin, although she didn't say why exactly. But when I saw him the next day it made sense, the boy radiates a powerful aura that demands respect. The man said. Thank you for delivering this bit of news to me. On your way out, could you tell my secretary to call for Yugito and be for me? The Raikage asked, earning a nod from the man before he bowed slightly and left. Back in Konoha. It makes sense really. Shikamaru started. Naruto is pretty much a spitting image of Yondaime. I'm surprised we didn't realize it earlier. But I'm going to assume that the reason you didn't know about it was for the same reason he kept his relationship a secret, right? As usual, you're right, Shikamaru. Sandaime thought it would be been best for me to learn about it after I had become Chunin. I would have had the skills to at least defend myself by that point. But because I went into ANBU before I could get into a second Chunin exams, I was told after about a year by Ba-chan. Naruto explained. I believe that is also the reason he chose to seal the Kyuubi inside of me. I know if I were to be in that position, it would be very hard for me to ask someone else to sacrifice their child. Do you hate your father for what he did to you? Sakura asked, making Naruto shake his head. I might have a little when I first found out, but if it wasn't for him sealing the Kyuubi inside of me, I wouldn't be where I am today, or the person that I am. Granted, I might have had an easier time in school, more friends, and wouldn't have to deal with the bloodthirsty fox, but I don't think I would have matured as fast as I had to, or learned to deal with hardships from an early age like I did. Naruto replied, I wanted to tell you guys this before announcing it to the village as a whole. As the people that are closest to me, I thought you would deserve to hear it directly from me, in person. When do you plan on announcing it to the village, Naruto-kun? Yugao asked. I don't know for sure. I know that Ba-chan and I will have to have a meeting with the council first, and choose what name I want to take, so probably a day or two after the next council meeting. Naruto replied, then turned to Tsunade. I think I want to keep my mother's name Ba-chan. Are you sure, Naruto? We discussed taking both names. I'm sure it would be fine with the council. Tsunade replied. I'm sure this is what I want, Ba-chan. The Uzumaki were well known and feared throughout the elemental nations, while the Namikaze were just a small clan that didn't have much. Having the Uzumaki clan reborn in Konoha would add a great military asset to our village. The Uzumaki Kenjutsu style would be even more dangerous given my Namikaze heritage, which has made me faster and able to react quicker to incoming attacks. The Namikaze and Uzumaki were also well versed in their own fuinjutsu, and I've been able to learn a little from both styles, and I'm currently trying to combine the two into one style. Also, from what I've heard, I act a lot more like my mother than my father. Naruto explained, earning a nod from the busty Hokage. I see, you do remind me a lot of Kushina-chan brat. Tsunade said with a smile, making Naruto smile in turn. If that is what you want, Naruto, then I have no intention of arguing with you. We can discuss it when we go to see the council about announcing your heritage. Thank you, Ba-chan, Naruto said with a smile, then, getting a sudden though, turned back to his friends. Another thing you need to know about is the Akatsuki, a criminal organization of S-ranked criminals. I've had a couple run-ins with them already, as have Kurenai, Asuma, Guy, and Kakashi-sensei. Naruto said. Why do we need to know about them? Kiba asked. Aside from the fact they are a group of S-ranked missing nins, as I just said, they are after the 9 Jinchuriki, that obviously means that Gaara and I are targets, and a Junin from Kumo. Itachi Uchiha is part of their group, as well as his partner Kisame, who you 4 had the pleasure of fighting. Naruto said, as he pointed to the 4 older Junin in the room. Even the 4 of you combined couldn't take them out. The only reason I wasn't taken that day is because Jiraiya made in it time between Sasuke foolishly challenged his older brother and paid the price for me. Do we know anything about any other members? Kurenai asked, remembering how easily Itachi had defeated her. As of right now, we don't have a lot of information about them, only that they work in groups of 2 at all times. Orochimaru used to be a part of their group as well, so we can only assume a group that holds company like that will be powerful. Naruto said. In truth, they had information on most of their members thanks to a little weasel that Naruto learned about after a couple years in ANBU. However, that was classified information, and he did not feel like making up an excuse as to how they knew so much. However, the point I'm trying to get across is that at all of your current levels, a run-in with an Akatsuki member like Itachi or Kisame would most likely lead to your death in a one-on-one confrontation. The only people in Konoha right now who might be able to deal with someone like Itachi or Kisame would be myself, Ero Sennin, and Ba-chan. Asuma, Yugao-chan, Kakashi-sensei, and Guy might be able to fight them to a draw, and while I hate to say this, Kurenai, with your limited ability in both taijutsu and ninjutsu, going up against them by yourself would be suicidal. I hate to admit it, Naruto, but you're right. My specialty is genjutsu, and going up against Itachi, and the person nicknamed the Tailless Biju, with only genjutsu wouldn't end well for me. Kurenai said dejectedly. Yes, however, Naruto started, earning her attention, since you need the most help, I will make you an offer. I'm listening. Kurenai replied. I will offer to train you in both taijutsu and ninjutsu, and I can offer you a wide variety of weapons training as well, from ninjutsu to bow staffs. Naruto said, making Kurenai's eyes widen. I don't know, Naruto, Kurenai said. She wasn't sure how having someone younger than her giving her lessons would affect her reputation within Konoha. If you are worried about the difference in age, I'll have you know that I've taught Yugao-chan a few things, as well as Kakashi. But if it would make you feel better, I'm sure that whenever I'm not helping Yugao train, she would be willing to help you. She is living with me after all, and I have given her full access to my family's jutsu library. Wait, why make Kurenai-sensei this offer, but not any of us? Kiba asked. I made Kurenai this offer because, as we said earlier, with her limited skills in taijutsu and ninjutsu, she wouldn't be able to do much of anything if she was to run into Akatsuki. At the same time, most of you have clans to learn from, while Sakura and Ino are both learning from Tsunade. So I made her the offer because you all have available sources to learn from, while Kurenai is not so lucky. Naruto replied. Wait, you said you were proficient in a variety of weapons, right, Naruto? Tenten asked, receiving a nod as her reply. Would you want to spar sometime? I would like to see how my mastery of weapons matches up to yours. That would be fine with me. You will have to catch me at a time when I'm not busy though. If anyone else wants to spar sometime, the same rules apply, although I will not be able to help you all with training. Naruto said, earning nods from around the room. That's all I wanted to talk about today, Ba-chan, so if you don't mind, me and Yugao-chan will be leaving to go get some training in. Naruto started, then turned back to Kurenai. Think about my offer, please, Kurenai. Having a good reputation means nothing if you're dead. Tuki, Ayame Nisan, Iruka, you are all welcome at my compound whenever you want, or if you are ever in need of anything, do not hesitate to ask. We should get lunch before training, Naruto-kun. Yugao said, earning a nod from Naruto as they disappeared via Shunshin. I can't believe it, Tuki started, earning everyone's attention. What, Tuki-san? Kakashi asked. The son of the Yondaime was my #1 customer. Think of the business I will get once word of his heritage gets out. Tuki replied happily, causing his daughter to sweat drop. Back in Kumo, Yugito fidgeted slightly as she stood across from both A and B, slowly digesting the information she had just learned about a certain blonde she met during her mission to Wave. So, you're telling me that Konoha's Reaper is not only a Jinchuriki like B and I, but is also the last of 2 clans, those being the Namikaze and Uzumaki? Yugito asked, earning a nod from A. It's a good thing I didn't get into a fight with him then. She said nervously, trying to lighten the mood a little. You are also lucky that while we are on shaky terms with Konoha, we are not outright allies. From what you told me of him, he could have killed you, regardless of if you had used the Nibi's chakra or not. A said, I believe he would know our ambassador would recognize him, which is probably why he told you of his status. He wanted to let you know in advance that fighting him would be a battle that you would not be able to win. That may be true, but he also gave me a lot of information about this group, the Akatsuki, and even went as far as giving me a reverse summoning tag in the chance I ran into them. If I may, Asama, I would suggest trying to make an ally out of Konoha. Naruto is powerful now, but I can tell that he still has a lot of room to grow. Along with that, they still have 2 out of the 3 Sannin in and around the village. And I don't need to remind you about their growing list of a ranked Junin in the bingo books from across the elemental nations. Yugito said nervously, watching as seemed to think about her proposal. I will think about it, Yugito. Both you and B are important to me, along with others in our village. The threat of the Akatsuki is not one to be taken lightly. And while I hate to admit it, Konoha does have higher caliber Junin than we do, and while we have both you and B, you said earlier that the last Namikaze would be able to defeat you should a fight between the 2 of you occur, and between him, Jiraiya, Tsunade and Kakashi, they would probably be able to take out B eventually as well. I replied, earning a nod from Yugito. I can't help but feel that there is something more at work here though, so for now unless specifically asked by me, I don't want either of you going too far from the village. Of course Asama, be careful of any missions you accept for us though, the council has never really liked B and I. Yugito said before being dismissed. I can't rap and found it really hard to make a rhyming sentence that made sense, so B will probably not rap his sentences out in this story. Our little kitty seems to think highly of the young Namikaze bro. Killer B said, earning a nod from the rakeage. Yes she does, perhaps we could use that to our advantage if peace talks come up. I replied, your brat sure has made a name for himself Minato, it's only a matter of time before he surpasses you. Later that night, in Konoha. After a quick lunch at the dango shop, Naruto and Yugao had spent most of the afternoon training. Both had spent a little bit of time going through the Namikaze and Uzumaki clan libraries before picking out a few scrolls each to practice with. Yugao had chosen a Kenjutsu scroll to study, along with a few Suiden jutsus. Naruto had taken some of his father's notes pertaining to the Hiraishin and had spent most of the afternoon looking over them. After their training was finished, Yugao had told him she wanted to hang out with her friends, and left Naruto to his own devices. Having nothing better to do, Naruto decided to walk around Konoha, being able to enjoy Konoha's nightlife for the first time since he had joined ANBU. Over the past few days he had a lot of time to think over the conversation he and Inari had had during his stay in Wave. He wasn't confused about how he felt, he knew that he liked Yugao, but there were a few things that stopped him from acting on his feelings. The first was Hayate. He knew that Yugao, while not as much as she was before, was still in pain over her ex-fiancé's death during the Chunin exams. The second was the fact that he was a clan head, and would probably be asked to be placed in the CRA. While not wanting to be forced to take more than one wife, his desire to keep his mother's clan living outweighed those thoughts, and he didn't think Yugao would want to be a part of something like that. Thinking about the CRA brought him to another train of thoughts, not wanting to be forced into a loveless marriage, which he thought was most likely to happen. What's bothering you, Naruto? He heard, and turned to see Kakashi walking out of one of the stalls he had just passed. Hey Kakashi-sensei, I'm troubled by certain things regarding being a clan head. Naruto replied as Kakashi fell into step beside him. You mean the CRA, and I'm going to go out on a limb and also guess what that means regarding a certain purple-haired ex-ANBU of mine, right? Kakashi said, making Naruto nod. You know too much for your own good, Kakashi-sensei. He replied, earning a shoulder shrug from his old sensei. I saw the same look on your father's face when the council had asked him to join the CRA. Luckily for him though, Kushina had shot the idea down before they could convince him to go along with it. Your mother could be quite convincing, if she wanted to be. Kakashi said, as for the issue regarding Yugao, I've caught you looking at her the same way you used to look at Sakura. I may not have been a good sensei when you were younger, but I got to know you a lot better during your time in ANBU. My father was asked to be part of the CRA as well. I thought the Namikaze was just a small-time clan. Naruto asked. They were. However, Minato was a special case. Your father was an extremely powerful man, Naruto, both well respected and feared. While you take a lot from your mother, you also have a lot of qualities that your father had. If we were to have more shinobi like you in the village, Kakashi said, then the Namikaze clan would have become a very powerful clan for Konoha to have. I see. Naruto finished. But you also said that I have a lot of traits from my mother, who was also very powerful in her own right. My father would have had to marry powerful kunoichi for something like that to work, not some merchant's daughter. Yes, he would have, but for your father that wouldn't have been an issue. He was a very popular man among many people, kunoichi included. Kakashi said, you seem to be following quite closely in his footsteps, I might add. What do you mean? Naruto asked. From what I've seen, you seem to be quite popular as well with both the civilian and shinobi population. People seem to be quite jealous that you and Yugao seem to be quite close to each other. Kakashi said, I've also noticed that you are getting a lot of female attention even as we speak. Naruto took a look around. Kakashi had been right. He saw quite a bit of the female population looking at him with want in their eyes. I see what you mean, however I do not want a relationship built on what clans I come from, or who my father was. I also don't want to be wed to some spoiled merchant's daughter. Naruto replied, if I decide to accept the CRA, I will have a couple years to find suitable wives before the council starts to just push people on me. Hopefully I can figure something out in that time. I'm sure that you will, Naruto. I would recommend starting with people that you already know. I know of a few people who already seem to have taken an interest in you. Kakashi said, getting Naruto's attention. However, I am not going to reveal who those people are, because that would ruin the fun. I should have known that you wouldn't, Kakashi-sensei. I know at least one person who seems to have feelings for me, but I have to admit her feelings are based on fake grounds. I am not, and never was the person she thought me to be. Naruto said, earning a nod from Kakashi. Hinata, you mean? She is powerful in her own right, even if she doesn't know it. She is also very beautiful, but I have to agree that her feelings are based on the old you, at least the one you wanted everyone to believe was you. Kakashi replied, I would recommend talking to her about it soon. If you leave it for much longer, it will be harder for her to understand. I know, I wanted to talk to her about it on the mission we went on, but things came up and I never got the chance. I care for Hinata, just not in the same way she cares for me. I need to think of a way to tell her where I won't hurt her too much. Naruto said. I can't help you there, Naruto. In a way, she is as bad as Sakura was with Sasuke, she just doesn't outwardly show it. She is too shy, lacking in self-confidence from how her family treats her to be able to express how she feels. However, I think I should confront her before she gains the courage to tell me. It would be an even bigger hit to her confidence if after finally getting the courage to tell someone her feelings they don't share them. Naruto replied. Well, you have time to think about it. Kurenai and her old team left on a mission a couple hours ago and probably won't be back for a few days. Kakashi said. I see, thanks Kakashi-sensei. Maybe I'll ask Yugao about it. Naruto replied, earning a nod from Kakashi before deciding to go back home. Next morning, somewhere in the land of grass, Itachi woke slowly. Having spent the night outside instead of in a cave, his eyes needed time to adjust. Looking around, his eyes narrowed slightly. Kisame had been with him the night before, but now he was nowhere to be found, and Kisame had never walked off without telling Itachi about where he was going. I see you're awake now, Itachi-san. That's good because we have a lot to discuss. A voice said. Turning, Itachi came face to face with deep purple eyes. Then talk. I am in the middle of hunting for the 9 tails. Itachi said emotionlessly. You would do well to remember your place while talking to a god, Itachi-san. I've come to let you know that you are no longer a part of the Akatsuki. I've received information recently that has made me question your loyalty towards me. Rather than take a chance, I've decided to deal with you myself. Pain said as he got into a fighting stance. I'm not strong enough to fight Pain and come out the victor. I need to create an opportunity to get away. How could he have known I was working for Konoha though? I didn't think Toby would tell him. Itachi thought as he made distance between himself and the Rinnegan user, activating his Sharingan. The Sharingan is useless against these eyes, Itachi. You cannot hope to defeat me. Pain said. We will see. Itachi replied before going through a set of hand signs. Kaden. Hosenka no Jutsu. Itachi said as he spit 6 fireballs towards the leader of the Akatsuki, who merely scoffed as he waited for them to get close. Shinra Tensei. He said calmly as a gravitational force was pushed from his body, dissipating the fireballs Itachi had sent at him. He then charged at Itachi to engage in taijutsu, sending a flurry of kicks and punches towards the Uchiha who, thanks to his Sharingan, was able to evade most of the attacks. Ducking a kick that was sent for his head, Itachi tried to counter with a jab to the body as he saw an opening in Pain's defense. Much to Itachi's shock, however, Pain spun quickly, using his left hand to swat Itachi's punch away, while using his right to punch Itachi in the face, sending him skidding backwards. How did you see that attack? Itachi asked. He then tensed as he saw the 5 other paths of Pain land in the clearing. Things just went from bad to worse for the Uchiha. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Itachi said as he made 2 clones of himself, before they went through a set of hand signs. Kaden. Gokaku no Jutsu. The clones said as they shot 2 large fireballs towards Pain, forcing the prey to path absorb one while Diva used Shinra Tensei to deflect the other. The 2 clones then ran in behind the fireball, hoping to take out the prey to path as he finished absorbing the fireball, but were stopped by the Asura path. Bunshin Babakua. Itachi said, causing the 2 clones to explode, creating a large layer of smoke around the clearing. Using this as an opportunity to escape, Itachi quickly made 2 more shadow clones before having them split off in different directions. It would seem he got away. Leader Sama. A large blue man with shark-like features said as he came out of the forest after the smoke had cleared. It doesn't matter. He will die whether it's by my hand or someone else's. Pain replied, before a beautiful woman with blue hair landed beside him. What do you want us to do about him, Pain? The woman asked. Conan, I want you to take Kisame and track him down. I don't care how you do it, just make sure you kill him. He will regret the day he tested the powers of a god. Pain said, earning a nod from Conan, who then spared a glance at the large shark-like man before taking off in the direction she felt Itachi go. Kisame, do not fail me, and make sure you get his ring. Pain said before using a shunshin to leave, leaving Kisame alone in the clearing. So Itachi was a spy this whole time, huh? This could make things interesting if he gets away. Kisame said to himself, and then left in the same direction Conan had gone a few moments before. Konoha. Few hours later. Tsunade was sitting behind her desk doing paperwork, when a sudden tapping sound was heard from her window. Turning around, she was shocked to see a large crow sitting on the other side of the window, scroll held in its beak. Tsunade opened the window before taking the scroll from the crow, which then disappeared in a puff of smoke. That's strange. The only person I remember having a summoning contract with the crows was Tsunade thought, before eyes going wide and quickly opening the scroll. Shit. Tsunade said, before yelling for Shizune. What is it, Tsunade-sama? Shizune said as she entered the office. Get me Naruto, Yugao, Kakashi and Guy quickly. Tell Kakashi this is an S-ranked mission and not to be late. She said, earning a quick nod from Shizune who sent for the people Tsunade had called for. 5 minutes later, the 4 ninja Tsunade had called for were standing at attention in front of her desk. What did you call us here for, Tsunade-sama? Naruto asked seriously. I've just received an urgent message. ANBU code name Weasel has been compromised and has requested immediate help at ANBU Safe House D, located on the border of the Land of Fire and the Land of Grass. Tsunade said, making Naruto's and Kakashi's eyes widen. Who is Weasel, Naruto-kun? Yugao asked, hearing the blonde sigh. Weasel is, Itachi Uchiha. But Itachi is a criminal, he slaughtered his clan, how could he still be working for Konoha? Yugao said, causing Naruto to sigh. Yugao-chan, there are certain things pertaining to the Uchiha massacre that are almost as big a secret as my heritage. Naruto said. He then glanced at Tsunade, who in turn nodded, knowing what Naruto wanted. I'm going to ask both you and Guy-san to not interrupt me as I explain everything that happened prior to that night. Can I get a guarantee from both of you for that? Of course, Naruto-kun, Yugao said, as Guy nodded his head. Thank you. It pretty much started during the time of the second Hokage when Tobirama-sama created the Uchiha police force, and forced their clan to the outskirts of the village. Having believed they were the most powerful clan in Konoha, they took it as an insult that they were forced to the outskirts of Konoha. From that point onward, the Uchiha felt segregated from the rest of Konoha. They received constant suspicion and discrimination that eventually led to their hatred of the village. They planned to use Itachi as a spy for the Uchiha clan, but Itachi was smarter than they though. He knew that an uprising of the Uchiha would most likely lead to another shinobi war, so he became a double agent, telling Konoha of the Uchiha's planned coup d'etat. Naruto started, surprising both Guy and Yugao, before Kakashi continued. Itachi was convinced by Danzo that killing his entire clan was the only viable option for stopping the rebellion, and Itachi agreed to it under the terms that Sandaime-sama would watch over and care for Sasuke. After the massacre, Itachi infiltrated the Akatsuki, and has been providing Konoha with information on them ever since. Kakashi said, making Tsunade nod, confirming his explanation. Did Itachi manage to say who discovered him? Or who is currently following him? Naruto asked, earning a nod from Tsunade. Yes, in his scroll he said that he was confronted by Pain, the supposed leader of Akatsuki, and engaged in combat till a time when he felt he could escape. He is currently being followed by Kisame and a woman named Konan. Tsunade said, causing Naruto's eyes to widen. Fuck, that isn't good, both Konan and Kisame are extremely dangerous opponents. You all know Kisame as an ex-Kiri no Shinobigatana, 7 swordsman of the mist, and is nicknamed the Tailless Biju for his massive chakra reserves, but Konan is someone we don't have a lot of info on. Itachi stated that she primarily uses long-range paper ninjutsu, something she was able to create after fusing her chakra into origami creations. She is known as the Angel of Aim, and supposedly is very intelligent when it comes to combat. Naruto said, she is also close to their leader Pain, and is usually always by his side. Can you tell us anything about Pain, Naruto-kun? Guy asked. I will tell you this once, if for whatever reason Pain is with Konan and Kisame, we will be forced to either flee, or fight to the death. Pain is the only known person who wields the Rinnegan, the legendary dojutsu of the Sage of the Six Paths. Even fighting together, our odds of winning against him are slim without knowing the full capabilities of his eyes. Naruto stated, shocking those present. The Rinnegan, I thought that was just a myth. Kakashi said. It was believed to be a myth because no one had been born with the Rinnegan since the Sage, however Itachi says he had seen it with his own eyes, and that's not something Itachi would lie about. Naruto said. I'm going to assume you called us here so we could meet with Itachi at the extraction point, right? Yes, however I also called you because most of you have experience fighting with Akatsuki, or ninja close to that caliber. Guy has fought with Kisame before, and with Yugao being a Kenjutsu expert, having them fight against Kisame would work well, I think. You are both close-range specialists, and according to our reports Kisame relies mainly on Kenjutsu, but don't let your guard down. That leaves Kakashi and Naruto to take on Konan. Both of you are skilled in both long-range and short-range fighting, giving you an advantage in whatever way the fight turns out. Tsunade said, earning nods from the group. Naruto, since you have the most experience with Akatsuki, I want you to lead this mission. Should things go south during the mission, your main priority will be to get Itachi back to Konoha safely. We will deal with everything else then, alright? Hi. Should things go bad, I'll send a toad in advance to let you know what is going on. Hopefully we will be able to get Itachi out without having to fight. If we are forced to fight, hopefully we will be able to make them retreat. With Itachi helping us, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. That being said, I'm going to get Itachi to help Yugao and Guy fight Kisame. Having been partnered with him, Itachi would know of his fighting style, as well as any weaknesses he has. Naruto said. Whatever you think is best, Naruto-kun. You should all get moving though. It will be a few days' trip to get to the border of Fire Country where Itachi is going. Tsunade said. With Itachi. Itachi flinched as he felt the first of his clones pop out of existence. Konan had been less than friendly about taking care of him, and judging by the look on her face the clone saw before dispersing, she was anything but pleased. While dealing with Konan herself probably wouldn't have been an issue for the older Uchiha, he knew Kisame was with her as well, tilting the scales in their favor should a confrontation happen. He just hoped his message had reached Konoha, and that Tsunade would send him suitable backup. The clone had managed to lead Konan and Kisame a fair amount of distance away from the real him, but if they were to catch on his actual trail, he would only have a few days before they caught up with him. Giving a sigh, he stood up, stretching his body after the short break he had taken, before continuing on his way towards the border of the Land of Fire. He had had a feeling that Toby knew about him still being loyal to Konoha and working undercover in the Akatsuki. The masked man may have acted like an incompetent fool, but Itachi knew he was not someone to be provoked. If Toby knew I was a double agent, he would have known for a long time. Why would he wait till now to bring that fact to light? Something must have happened to force his hand. Itachi thought. Something big was happening, and he hoped he would be able to find the answers back in Konoha. Few days later, Naruto and his team were on guard as they approached the ANBU safe house from the cover of the forest. Stopping at the edge of the clearing, Naruto turned his head to Yugao before flashing through a few ANBU hand signs, sending her a silent message. Nodding towards her blonde teammate, Yugao closed her eyes and sent out a few waves of her chakra, looking for any signs of Itachi, or the two that had been following him. I only sense one presence, Naruto-kun. It's already inside the safe house, so I'm going to assume it's Itachi. Yugao said, earning a nod from Naruto. Alright, I agree that it's most likely Itachi, but don't let your guard down. Yugao-chan, keep your senses alert even after we go inside. Let me know immediately if you sense anyone outside. I'll go in first. Yugao-chan will be behind me, followed by Guy with Kakashi-sensei bringing up the rear. This safe house is still in operation, so be wary of traps. Naruto said, earning a collective nod before they left the cover of the treeline and made their way towards the entrance. Naruto's hand went towards the entrance but stopped as he felt a presence from right behind the door. Tensing and preparing for the worst, Naruto retracted his hand and watched as the door opened to reveal Itachi. Hello again, Naruto-kun. I'm kind of surprised Tsunade-sama would send you here. I told her 2 high-level Akatsuki members were after me. Itachi said emotionlessly as he stepped out of the bunker, no longer wearing his Akatsuki robes. I see you took some of the supplies that were left here. Naruto said as he gazed at Itachi, who was dressed in a standard ANBU uniform minus the mask. As for why I was sent here, I'm not the same person I was the last time you saw me, weasel. I see. If you know that name, then you must have been in ANBU, fairly high ranking as well. Itachi said. If he was surprised, he didn't really show it. Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. You will have to wait until we return to Konoha to get information like that. Naruto said. It would appear so. I'd recommend leaving as soon as possible. After escaping from pain, I created a couple shadow clones in hopes that they would lead Konan and Kisame away. One was dispelled a couple days ago, the other one ran out of chakra and dispelled on its own, leading me to believe that Konan and Kisame have found my actual trail. Itachi said, earning a nod from Naruto before a voice stopped them all. It took me a while to find you, Itachi-san. It would appear that Konoha was able to send help. That won't make a difference, you will die here today. A woman said as she landed in the clearing. Large wings made of paper formed out of her back. Conan-san, if you are here then I'd guess Kisame isn't too far behind. Itachi said, as if on cue a large blue man stepped out into the clearing. It's a shame you had to betray the Akatsuki Itachi-san, I really enjoyed being your partner. Kisame said with a toothy grin, showing off his shark-like fangs. It would seem Konoha sent some high-level shinobi to assist you, including the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. The brat sure has grown since the last time I saw him. Itachi, I want you to help Yugao and Guy fight Kisame. The three of you together should be able to either kill him or seriously wound him. Kakashi and I will deal with Conan. Naruto said, earning a nod before the group split off to fight their respective opponents. With Naruto and Kakashi raced through the trees, hoping to lead Conan away from the others so they could focus on their fight with Kisame without having to worry about Conan interfering. Landing in a clearing a short distance away, Naruto and Kakashi stood back to back, waiting for Conan to make her move. They didn't have to wait long as a hail of paper kunai rained in from above, forcing them to use kawarimi to dodge. Looking up they saw Conan hovering slightly above the treeline, face set into a deep frown. I didn't expect Konoha to send their Jinchuriki, along with Sharingan no Kakashi, this could complicate things. I'll have to take care of you both quickly and help Kisame with Itachi. Conan said as she floated down to the ground and got into an offensive stance. Don't think that you will be able to defeat us so easily, Conan-san. Naruto replied as he unsealed his ninjutsu while Kakashi pulled up his forehead protector, revealing his Sharingan eye. They stood across from each other unmoving, almost as if they were sizing each other up. On an unspoken marker Conan flew towards Naruto, who smirked as he pumped some Kaden chakra through the blade, giving it a light red glow. Naruto slid under the paper kunai Conan had slashed at him with his thrust his sword up into her paper wing, detaching it from the rest of her body as she fell towards the ground, tumbling a few times before coming to a stop against a tree. Picking herself up off the ground, Conan spit a bit of blood out of her mouth before releasing her still intact wing. Glaring at Naruto, she made a few kami bunshin, paper clones, and sent two of them towards Kakashi, while she engaged Naruto again with the other following close behind. With Itachi and the others, Yugao, Guy and Itachi stood in a triangle pattern surrounding Kisame, who in turn just stood there with a smirk on his face. Samahata is hungry, Itachi-san. I've spent years studying the way you fight, figuring out way to beat you. Today is when I will see how far I've come. Kisame said as he pulled the large sword off his back, before the bandages fell to the side, revealing the large scaly sword. She has wanted to taste your chakra for a very long time now. I don't think I need to tell either of you to be careful from here on out. Kisame is one of Akatsuki's strongest members. Be wary of his sword, Samahata, as well. It's a sentient sword that eats chakra, growing in size as it does so. This fight would be best fought close quarters, but don't let his sword get too close or it will expand and he will be able to shave the skin off your bones with it. Itachi said as his onyx eyes turned Sharingan red. Yugao and Guy nodded before assuming their respected offensive stances. Guy was the first to move, rushing at Kisame from behind, hoping to catch the large man off guard with a quick series of jabs and kicks. Kisame was ready, however, and used Samahata to block Guy's attacks before swinging the large sword in a horizontal arc, attempting to shatter a few ribs. Guy was ready for this, however, and dropped low to the ground as the large sword missed overhead, before using both hands to propel himself into an up kick that Kisame barely managed to dodge, moving his head back at the last second. Kisame then grabbed onto one of Guy's legs before throwing him over his shoulder, slamming him into the ground. Guy rolled out of the way as Kisame brought his foot down, creating a small indent where his head had just been, before distancing himself from the large shark-like man, attempting to regain the breath he had lost being slammed. I won't be forced to retreat like the last time we fought. Kisame said as he looked at Guy. causing the green-clad Junin to raise an eyebrow at the declaration. We've fought before, Guy asked, causing Kisame, and to a lesser extent Itachi, to sweat drop. All bronze no brains it would seem. Kisame said to himself before being forced to duck under a slash Yugao had sent at the back of his head. It's not very nice to sneak up on people like that when they are talking. Kisame said as he attempted to sweep Yugao's legs out from under her before engaging her in kenjutsu, pushing the smaller woman back with his powerful strikes. Ducking and weaving between Kisame's strikes, Yugao waited patiently for an opening to use her speed for a counterattack. The moment came when Kisame made a rookie mistake by overextending his reach with a stab, enabling Yugao to duck around the large man, leaving a large horizontal cut across his gut. The gain in momentum was only temporary, however, as Yugao found Kisame's foot planted in her gut as he landed a heavy back kick and sent her skidding across the ground. Kisame smirked as he turned towards Itachi. The beast with no brain is still trying to catch his breath, while the pretty little kenjutsu user probably won't be getting up for a little while. Looks like it's just you and me now, partner. Kisame said with a toothy grin as he rested Samahata on his shoulder. Indeed, Itachi replied emotionlessly as he unsheathed the ninjutsu strapped across his back. It had been a while since he used this particular weapon, but he hoped it would be enough. That puny blade won't work against Samahata for long, and I know to avoid looking at your Sharingan, Itachi-san. You may be able to catch others off guard, but it won't be as easy with me. Kisame said as he charged at Itachi. You don't have to look into my eyes for them to be effective. I can still sense where your movements are coming from. Itachi said as he sidestepped a large downward slash, before slashing Kisame across the arm. Using his speed, Itachi disappeared from Kisame's vision, reappearing behind him and leaving a large diagonal slash along his back before quickly disappearing again. Growling, Kisame did a complete 360 with Samahata, hoping to catch Itachi as he reappeared. Much to his surprise though, Itachi reappeared momentarily on top of Samahata, before Kisame felt a sharp pain in his gut. Looking behind him, he saw a smirking Yugao, ninjutsu blade deep in the small of his back, causing his eyes to widen slightly before coughing up blood. You made a rookie mistake, Kisame, believing an enemy was incapacitated without solid proof, and now you're going to pay for it. Itachi said, bringing Kisame's attention back to the older Uchiha, who was still standing atop Samahata, tip of his ninjutsu poised to strike at Kisame's jugular. Hey, Kisame breathed out heavily. It would seem that even after all these years, you're still stronger than me, Itachi-san. In a one-on-one fight it might have ended differently, but you were at a disadvantage from the start, fighting against a ranked shinobi as well as myself. You should not have come here, Kisame. Itachi said, but his eyes narrowed when he saw Kisame smirk. Whoever said the fight was finished? Kisame said before dropping Samahata, throwing Itachi off balance, and quickly spun to knock Yugao away again. It was fun, Itachi-san, but you should know it won't be that easy to defeat me. Kisame said before gathering a large amount of chakra. Sweden. Bakusui Shoha. Kisame shouted as he spit out a large amount of water before going through another set of hand signs. Sweden. Daibakufu no Jutsu. Kisame shouted as a large torrent of water shot towards Yugao and Itachi, who quickly picked Guy up and got out of the way. It would seem this fight is over, Yugao-san. We should wait for Naruto-kun and Kakashi-san to return. Itachi said as he looked out over the clearing, not seeing any traces of Kisame. I agree with Itachi-san, the two of us are in no condition to fight Yugao-san. Guy said from his seated position, I trust in both Kakashi and Naruto-kun, they will be fine. With Naruto, it would seem that Kisame was forced to flee Konan-san. I would recommend doing the same. Naruto said as he destroyed another one of Kanan's kami bunchins with his ninjutsu. Kisame was fighting against not only Itachi, but two other high-ranked Konoha shinobi as well. I've got both you and Kakashi-san separated and that gives me the advantage. Konan replied as she sent a few exploding kunai towards Naruto. While I will admit the information we had on you was off, you have not shown me anything that leads me to believe you will defeat me. Naruto smirked as he used Kawarimi to get out of way of the exploding kunai before going through his next set of hand signs. Kirigakur no Jutsu, he said, creating a thick layer of mist that covered the clearing. It's a shame that you have fallen so far since being Jiraiya's student Konan-san. Naruto said through the mist, causing Conan's eyes to widen. I don't think this is the path he wanted you three to go down. I know that pain is just Nagato's puppet, but what happened to Yahiko? Jiraiya said there were 3 of you, but from Itachi's information there are only 2 of you left. I don't know what you're talking about. Conan said, causing Naruto to scoff. Don't play dumb with me, Conan. I know exactly who you are. Orphans from the Second Shinobi War, Jiraiya found you 3 and instead of killing you like his teammate Orochimaru suggested decided to train you 3. He had hoped that with Nagato's Rinnegan he would be the child of prophecy that the Elder Toad had told him about, but it looks like Nagato has succumbed to darkness and is now going down the path of self-destruction. Naruto said, earning a snarl from Conan. How dare you speak of Nagato like that? You have no idea what we went through as children. Yahiko's dream was to create a world of peace, but when he died Nagato took over his dream and is working on fulfilling it. Conan replied through the mist. By gathering all the Biju to create a weapon of mass destruction, I may have been an idiot before Conan, but even I know that creating a weapon like that will do anything but bring peace to this world. Naruto replied as he appeared behind Conan, slicing the back of her knee causing her to drop to one knee. I also know how the 2 of you came into power in AIM, destroying a major part of the village in your fight with Hanzo, killing lots of innocent families. Since then Nagato has ruled AIM like a tyrant, he may have freed the people from Hanzo, but they still live in fear of him. You have no idea what you're talking about. Conan shouted as she tried to stand, only to be struck down again. Naruto buried his fist in her stomach. I know more than you think, Conan-san. I'm not going to kill you, but when you return to AIM take a walk around the village, not as the angel, as they so appropriately call you, but use a henge and go as a regular civilian, interact with the people and see what they think of your glorious leader's rule. Naruto said, and Conan couldn't help but blush lightly at Naruto's choice of words about her nickname. While you're doing that, think about what kind of weapon Nagato is currently trying to build. It's a weapon of mass destruction, not a weapon of peace. What good would a world without wars be if there is no one alive to enjoy it? You know nothing of peace. Conan spat. You're absolutely right. I don't know what peace is, nor do I know how to achieve it. Naruto started, but I have people who believe that I will be able to achieve it, and I can't let my friends down. One last word of advice, Conan-san, be wary of the man with the spiral mask, he is not who he seems to be. There are larger powers at work in this world, and as of right now, Akatsuki is the least of my worries. That was the last thing Conan heard and her world went black as Naruto delivered a quick chop to the back of her neck before ending his hidden mist jutsu. Letting out a sigh, Naruto expanded his senses, locating Kakashi and the rest of the group back in the clearing they found Itachi in. Naruto used a shunshin to get to the clearing quickly, before doing a quick once-over of his team. Kakashi seemed a little tired and had a few cuts and bruises around his body. Yugao was breathing a little heavy and holding her side, while both Guy and Itachi seemed to be somewhat okay. How did it go, Naruto? Kakashi asked. It went fine. We fought a bit. I talked to her about a few things, then I left her unconscious with a message to deliver to Pain, and hopefully a lot on her mind to think about. Naruto replied, we should get back to Konoha though, we can discuss everything else there. -3 days later, Konoha. After sneaking Itachi in relatively easily, Naruto and his team could be found standing in front of Tsunade, reporting how their mission went. So, let me get this straight, you 3. Tsunade started, pointing at Guy, Yugao and Itachi, fought Kisame and forced him to retreat. Hi Tsunade-sama, Yugao clarified, while the 2 of you fought Konan and a few of her clones. She continued, pointing at Naruto and Kakashi. Kakashi was able to end the fight relatively unscathed from what you told me. You decided to let her live in hopes that she would deliver a message to Pain, and to think about what you told her. Yay. Naruto said. Hearing it from Tsunade, it really didn't sound like the best plan ever, but he had his reasons for it. I can't think of a reason why you would do something like that. On second thought, I don't want to know. Tsunade said with a sigh, I'm getting too old for this shit. In all honesty, Tsunade-sama, Konan didn't come across as an evil person. She is blindly following her last remaining friend as he is going down a dark path, leading her to do the same. I wanted her to take my advice in hopes of pushing her, so to say, back on the path that Jiraiya had hoped they would go on. Whether or not she does is up to her. I will not spare her a second time should another fight between us occur. Naruto said. Make sure that you don't brat. Now we just need to figure out what to do about you, Itachi. Tsunade said as she looked at the older Uchiha. There are two ways we can do this. We can tell the village about the planned coup d'etat, and the role that you played in making sure it didn't happen. You would probably be welcomed back as a hero. If you do not want the village to know about it, then it won't be as easy. I could probably get the sentence brought down from execution to jail time, but I couldn't guarantee how long it would last. Tsunade said. I would prefer to not let the village know about what really happened that night. The Uchiha clan had fallen far enough from grace before I killed them, but my other option isn't that great either. The most likely case is I would be thrown in jail and have my chakra sealed off until I was released, making me unable to serve the village. Itachi replied, earning a nod from Tsunade. May I suggest something, Tsunade-sama? Naruto asked. Of course, Naruto-kun. Tsunade replied. I suggest leaving the announcement of Itachi's return to the village until I've been named the new Uzumaki clan head. After that you can explain to the village and the council that Itachi came back willingly and that I've taken him as my responsibility. Naruto explained. The council still won't like that. They will probably argue that he came back in an attempt to kill you, or someone else, before disappearing again. Tsunade said, receiving a nod from Naruto. Alright. Then how about this? The Uzumaki clan has a seal similar to the caged bird seal that the Hyuga use, however I'm able to link it directly to a certain part of the person's body. If I was to say, link it to Itachi's heart, I would be able to kill him without a second glance should something happen. Itachi is loyal to this village, that much is certain, but the council and civilians will still be in fear of him. With my seal it will at least give them a means of security. It would also be safe to assume that the council would want Itachi close to me as much as possible, so he would probably be coming on missions with me, as well as being a temporary resident in my compound. Naruto said, and before you ask, the only person able to use a seal that has been placed is the person who has placed it, so Itachi will not have to worry about someone else trying to kill him. That could work. How do you feel about it, Itachi? Tsunade asked. Having to have the seal placed would be less than satisfactory, but from what I've seen so far, Naruto-kun has grown in leaps and bounds since I last saw him and I'm willing to place my trust in him. Given my other options, I don't really have much of a choice if I want to still be an active part of Konoha's shinobi forces anyways. Itachi said, earning a nod from Tsunade. Alright, well I will call a council meeting in a few days then, just lay low till then. Naruto's compound should have everything you need to last a few days, training grounds included. Tsunade said before she dismissed the five of them. Come on, Itachi, might as well show you your new hideout for the next few days. Naruto said as he grabbed Itachi's shoulder and left via Shunshin, followed shortly by Yugao. So, Tsunade started, either of you want to make a bet on when Yugao or Naruto will confess their feelings for one another? Tsunade asked with a smirk. Hopefully not long, Tsunade-sama, I think it would be good for the both of them. Kakashi replied with Guy nodding in agreement. With Naruto and Itachi appeared just inside the gate of his compound, and not being one for admiring scenery, Itachi requested being shown to his room right away. After putting his things away, Naruto gave Itachi a quick tour of the house and the yard, making sure Itachi knew where each of the training fields was located. Well, that's pretty much it, Itachi. If you need anything else, just ask me or Yugao. Breakfast is usually prepared around 8 am, and supper is usually around 6, depending on if we have a mission or not. Naruto said. After receiving a nod from Itachi, he set out to find Yugao, who he had felt enter shortly after arriving with Itachi. Yugao-chan, are you in here? Naruto asked as he knocked on the door. Not getting a reply but hearing a slight rustling in the room, he opened the door, only to go rigid in shock. On the far side of the room, Yugao was bent over rummaging through something in her drawer, in nothing but a wet towel that left almost nothing to the imagination. Naruto's eyes trailed up from the floor, following Yugao's long silky smooth legs right up to her heart-shaped rear end. As Yugao straightened up, Naruto noticed how her long purple hair flowed to the small of her back, and he had to admit that it looked a lot better let down. Then she turned, going as stock still as Naruto had, giving him time to take in her beautiful curvy figure from the front, taking in the way her bounced slightly from her sudden stop, before looking up to her beautiful face that had gone a shade of red not even Hinata could match. Naruto, oh. Yugao yelled, breaking Naruto out of his trance. Aw fuck, I'm sorry Yugao-chan, I had no idea. Naruto shouted as he dodged the various amount of things Yugao found to throw at him. Where the fuck did she pull that sword from? He thought to himself as a ninjutsu embedded itself in the wall directly behind him. That doesn't excuse the fact that you were staring at me in nothing but a towel. Yugao argued. I said I was sorry. I was just captivated by your beauty, that's all. Naruto said honestly, causing Yugao to stop throwing things and blush once again. Really? She stammered out. Yay. I didn't know you had just gotten out of the shower. I just wanted to know if you wanted to train or something. Naruto said, I'll be downstairs whenever you're dressed, come find me and we can talk. Sure, but you owe me for this, Naruto-kun. Yugao said. Naruto just waved it off and left, leaving a flustered Yugao alone in her room. He said I was beautiful. Sometime later, after Yugao had gotten dressed, the two of them decided to waste a little time doing a little kenjutsu practice, and after nursing the numerous cuts and lacerations Yugao had left over his body, Naruto had offered to take her for a walk around Konoha in the early evening light, eventually winding up on the Yondaime's head. The two of them laid there in relative silence as they gazed up towards the sky as the stars began to line the night sky. You know, Yugao started, gaining Naruto's attention, aside from that little stunt you had walking in on me earlier, I had a lot of fun this afternoon, Naruto-kun, thank you. You aren't going to forget that for a while, are you? Naruto sighed out, earning a slight giggle from Yugao as she shook her head. Whatever, I'm glad that you did, because I did too. It's been a long time since we have been able to hang out like this. Yay, Yugao said. In the ANBU they hardly had time to hang out as just regular friends with all the missions and training they were forced to do, but she had always enjoyed the moments of peace they had managed to share over the past 3 years. Hey Yugao-chan, can I ask you something? Naruto said. Of course Naruto-kun. I need to talk to Hinata about how I feel, but I don't know how to tell her without destroying what little confidence she has left. Naruto started. While we were never really talked during my time in the academy, I still consider her a friend. I want to let her down without hurting her too much. I think that, no matter how you tell her, you are going to hurt her. Yugao started, causing Naruto to sigh. That girl, whatever her reasons may be, has devoted herself to you. I watched as she used to follow you everywhere when the two of you were younger. She watched as your hard work and determination overcame the obstacles in your early life, and I think that she wanted to eventually be like you, in hopes that she would gain your attention and would return her feelings. I see. I don't know what to do, Yugao-chan. I've faced S-ranked criminal after S-ranked criminal and never faltered, but when it comes to girls I turn into a complete idiot. Naruto said, causing Yugao to giggle at his antics. I'm sure you will find a way, Naruto-kun, you always do. Yugao said with a smile. Thanks, Yugao-chan. Naruto said, earning a nod from said purple-haired woman, before she slid a little closer to Naruto and rested her head on his chest, enjoying the sound of his heartbeat. What are you doing, Yugao-chan? Naruto stammered as he stiffened slightly at the feeling of Yugao's head on his chest, earning another giggle from her. Looking up, Yugao noticed the slight red hue on Naruto's cheeks, and after a moment of hesitation decided to go one step further as she reached up and cupped Naruto's cheek, earning a curious look from the blonde before his eyes widened as he felt her lips press against his. It took Naruto a few moments to realize what was going on, but as soon as he did, he returned the kiss, making Yugao smile on the inside. The kiss held no lust, no want, just years of pent-up emotions. No words were needed to describe what the two of them were feeling. The kiss was doing that better than words ever could. Does this mean that? Naruto started, but was stopped as Yugao put a finger up against his lips. I want to take this slow, Naruto-kun. I'm not sure what I feel for you right now, but I don't want to miss this chance. For now, let's just enjoy this. Yugao said as she placed her head back on his chest. A soft smile graced her lips as she felt Naruto wrap his arm around her shoulders, pulling her closer to his body. Yay, I could get used to this. They both thought.